birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah.
Turn on your mind now, tune into the feed. We're planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
And here we go.
Welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
What is going on, Hive? Happy Sunday. Let me just double check my audio. Coming in loud and clear. Little disappointed with the Green Bay Packers today, but it doesn't mean we can't have a great stream talking about the absurd corruption in the Idaho 4 case that's been going on for years at this point. It's just ridiculous. I don't know how much more I can take personally. That's not to sound like I'm about to give up, but I can handle continuing to hit my head against a brick wall over and over and over again when I'm trying new stuff. But for the people out there that have yet to sway from the narrative, that have yet to just, you know what? I got 30 minutes of extra free time. I talk shit in everybody's comments that says Brian might not have done it. I'm not going to take that time and go watch whatever they put out. No, I'm going to listen to a soundbite. I'm going to live in my little echo chamber, and I'm going to continue to be an NPC. Yeah, you're going to take it and you're going to like it, T-Coon. That is exactly right. And I got a lot of stuff to go through this evening, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say what's up to everybody. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm your host, Birdie. I go live every weeknight. Welcome to the Hive Mind. I go live every weeknight at 7 p.m. Central, including Sunday nights. This is a contrarian thinking live stream, so if you're easily rattled or if you're offended on behalf of others, you're not going to like this stream. If you like to think past the headlines, you're going to love this stream. We encourage debate and I would say disagreement in the chat to an extent, right? Argue your point. Just don't troll, don't threaten, don't spam, and you're going to be fine. The mods are awesome in here. Everybody in the Hive is awesome. And so I have a great stream lined up for you this evening. Kind of a curveball as far as police interrogations. And I'm curious to get all of your thoughts on it. Awesome Town Matt says the NFL is fake and gay. I believe that when the Packers lose. So this week, I do believe that it might be fake and gay. Yes. What's going on, Tiggle Biddies? Mrs. Birdie says, it was Love's B-Day. What a terrible present. Yeah. What's up, Custody Queen? Kristen, good to see you. Growth Renewal. Ashley, Hurdy-Gurdy. Nene, Teresa, Crime Spy, Mitty Witty, Shoe Girl, Lisa, Rachel, Karen, Teresa, Donna, Sue, LA Mike, what's going on? Crime Spy, Michael Webb, Carly, Molly, Mary, Leanne. I know I already said that. What's up, Dago? Good to see you. Discord Dawn, what up? Matilda's in the house. Big Amish Media, good to see you. Rihanna. Stacy. The girl from Texas, April. Amanda B from West Virginia. Am I getting better or worse at singing that? I've been doing that a lot over the course of the last few months. I don't know if I've improved at all. Rocket Queen from Straya is tuning in. Shelly, good to see you. UK Karen. UFO Dog says, Dino in the hizzy for shizzy. This Rizzy makes you tizzy. Love that. And no okie dokies. Thank you so much for the super chat. They say this ain't over yet. And speaking of super chats, anything that is $4.99 for a super chat or a tip, which the mods drop the tip link, but super chats, not super stickers, and tips will pop up right here automatically. And I appreciate all of those. And Drew Bledsoe says, it's Sunday, so y'all peasants have no excuse but to tip your host. HBO Dog, a.k.a. UFO Dog, that Drew Bledsoe, a.k.a. David Loach, has a crush on. Send the link to donate. Think of your donations like handing out money at church on Sunday. Free BK, pay Birdie. I appreciate you, man. We had quite the conversation in the Discord with Sir David Loach and a handful of others earlier this afternoon. It was great. What's up, Teresa? Kim? Short Bus 794. Texas Teacher. Holly. Robin. Libby's excited. I am as well. What up, Essie? Is this anybody's first live right now? Type a 1 if this is your first live, or if you just found the Hive within the last, call it 30 days. We will welcome you with open arms. Wow. Crowd, this ain't your first live. Come on, gang. It's UFO Dog. No, you can't just type 69. Libby's usually on the replay crew. Amanda B says 420. Jesus Christ. Tennessee. Birdie, last night I ran across a vid by Cash Patel bitch slapping the prosecution on double dipping on the restitution for the BK. For BK, quote, the enforcement files. Oh, Tennessee. I fell victim to the exact same video that you did. I have been told from a very reliable source, meaning my wife, who seems to have a better eye for AI. Okay? I've gotten got by AI videos probably about, what would you say, hon? 4, 5 times in the last 2 weeks. It's getting out of control. I wanted to believe it was true. We were at Olive Garden watching that. Thank you, Bo Cleveland. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, Miss Birdie says too many times. I sent my wife one this morning about how dogs can sense danger. And she walks in the room. She goes, that's AI. And I go, no, it's not. And then she goes, yes, it's AI because every single video starts the same way. And whatever other points she made. It's concerning. It is concerning. I believe nothing anymore, just like Lisa Marie said. We're all cooked. If we did not live in a simulation before, we will certainly live in one sooner than later. Appreciate that, Michael. Yeah, you can get this hoodie on birdiebombshell.com. Real quick, like I said, I got a lot of stuff to go over. Let me plug the channel quick. I'm going to pause right now. 30 seconds. I'm not going to do anything else until everybody swipes out on the chat. We got 200 likes. We got almost 700 people in here. For God's sakes, just touch the like button. Just press it. That's all that I ask. 30 seconds. You're not going to miss anything for just swiping down on your chat, hitting the thumbs up. And as you do that, let me remind everybody I go live every weeknight at 7 p.m. Central. All of the 7 p.m. streams are free. I don't actually have any other streams. If I ever did do members, I would never put this one behind a paywall. I post quick cut, recaps of these streams every day. The following morning around lunchtime. Thank you, Dago. Dago says, keep doing great things, bro. Keep it up. I appreciate that. One of the OGs. And if you have not joined our Discord, that is in the YouTube bio on my channel. That's also free. Just make sure you have the app downloaded on the App Store or the Google Play Store, the Android, whatever the hell they call that. I've only ever had an iPhone. I don't know what they call Android. The Android App Store. Not hating on people that have Androids. I just don't know it. All that I do know is that you need the app for Discord downloaded first. So, and we go into the lounge there randomly. We were in there this morning at like 10 a.m. So thank you to everybody that did just press the like button. I mean, we just jumped up 150 likes in 20 seconds. So that's awesome. LA Mike suggests charging only certain people. Maybe. I gave myself a pep talk tonight. Okay. I said, I'm not going to crash out. I'm not going to lose my mind. I'm not going to get angry. Feel like the last couple of weeks, I've just been letting it fly at the drop of a hat, and I need to stop that. And although, yes, I may be redlining under the surface because I don't understand how people can't see this yet, it doesn't mean that I have to go and rant on for 30 minutes every stream. So I'm going to do my best tonight. No promises. I want to talk about a couple of things. First is this statistic, okay? Now, this goes from 1965 to 2020. I saw this on X. This is talking about America's declining homicide clearance rate, which means how many homicides in the United States are solved through and through. The source is from the CJIS, which is the FBI's Criminal Justice Information Service. And as you can see, this is a terrible trend with a massive drop-off coming. What would you say that is? 2019, 2018, terrible drop-off around 98, steady decline from 83 to 85. I mean, we've been going downhill for quite some time in solving murders. And you would think this would be the opposite, right? I mean, we have Palantir. We have Othram. We have all of these internet sleuths. We got Netflix, we got Hulu, we got all these streaming platforms. How does this make sense? How is it so downhill? I have a theory about this. It's a working theory. Don't take this as a fact. But when you notice the trend from 65 all the way to 2020, do you know what started to become more and more rampant in this country? I'm going to ask you all in the Hive. I'm going to throw all of the answers up on the screen. I guarantee almost all of you are going to start saying the same thing. But what correlates in the opposite direction of this? Let's see what people are saying here. Okay. Savvy Rooster says MK Ultra. Teresa says drugs. CK says stupidity. Crumple Stitzelskin says drugs. Lone Wolves, laziness. Wow, I thought you guys all had the same idea that I did. Someone said taxing the poor, drugs, MK Ultra, CP, stupidity, drugs, murders, white collar crime, trafficking, plea deals, the CIA, psyops. Yeah, but who's behind a lot of our problems? No trust in the police, conspiracy theories, education, computers. Detective Mowry says gas prices. Thank you, Gene. This is someone said aliens. I was thinking the mainstream media. That was my first thought. It's not necessarily talking about the competence or incompetence of law enforcement. But if you think about it, as this trend goes down, the mainstream media and their narratives and their propaganda continued to get stronger. Right? Because the facts start mattering less and less. While, yes, this might say homicide at the top of this screen, it could say any other story. It could say America's declining truth for any news story ever is like this. And that's because the mainstream media is an arm of the CIA, as you guys can see on the screen there. Yeah. And T. Coon says no report taken, graph. I agree, Joe Scribe. Not anymore. We all know it's fake. Amen to that. But it does correlate with that. It correlates with a lot of stuff that you guys said too in the chat. My brain went to, well, as media gets bigger, so does solving murder cases, which could be correlated with the truth. Well, and that's a good point. Luz Theron asks, how many of those solved in the 60s or 70s were actually the murderer? Do you know how easy it would be to get away with robbing a bank back in the day? Or murder? Or any crime? Think about that. It would be extremely easy. About half is what Jen Designs for you says. Brandon says the Wheel of Time representation. Sleuthard Air says technology was getting more advanced. That was my original thought. And real quick, make sure you guys are all subscribed to the channel. As if you guys aren't going to press the like button, I am going to turn on subscriber only chat as of now. Thank you very much for those that have liked and subscribed. So I wanted to just at least kind of show this right here. Well, this is a great point, Unicorn of Hope. Do any of us really personally know this many violent people? Answer this at your own will. Okay? Nobody feel pressure. Type a 1 if you know a murderer. I would not be able to press 1 right now. Sleuther Dare says, I actually do. Okay. Amanda B does. All of you guys personally know murderers? Holy hell. I did not expect that. Holy shit. That's wild. I was way off on that assessment. LA Mike Life says, yep, canceled the group trip of the Hive. We're not going anymore. But, all right. Couple of things is correlating with this graph, right? You guys all see this image. We just talked about it. Apparently, many more people here know murderers than I expected. But when you look at like solving crimes, why do this? Why do that? It makes no sense. Along with, you're not going to blur people's faces in the courtroom, yet when you release the footage, you blur it. You're not going to blur the house getting torn down or on any body cam footage, but on Google Maps and many other sources, it's blurred out. This does not do anything productive at all. The only reason that this is a trend is because people lie. They lie a lot on things you would never expect would be a lie, is how I see it. It is the most obvious cover up. I agree, Blue Rain 60. It's completely obvious. No right to privacy in public, Big Amish Media says. Well, it depends on. See, I don't know if there was sarcasm there. If there was or wasn't, I guess. Isn't it interesting, though? They will blur and redact people on public cameras in public spaces when, the system is lying. But if they could expose you, if they could out you, they have no problem releasing your face and everybody next to you's face. There is a real issue with having both sides and just determining, well, I feel this way today, and I feel this way on this matter. But on this matter, no, this goes against what I believe. No, you can't have it both ways. And so many people are doing that with this case. We have, and as Elizabeth says, we have no right to privacy in public. I agree with this. In public, your, quote, right to privacy in today's age is gone. But they give it to select people. And there's a pattern on who those select people are. I agree. River Bear Teacup says, show us another case that is redacted and blurred like this. Well, and Pretty Sweet Pea says, they sure showed Brian before convicted. Yes. Big J Money 83 says, and why is Dylan's face blurred? We have all seen it. It's because she's not the one in the interviews. You know what, Big J Money? I've heard crazier shit. It's hard to believe that they would maybe do that, but You can't say that what Big J Money just said right there wouldn't be a potential reason for blurring out people's faces on all the body cam footage and all the interviews when we supposedly know what they look like, correct? LA Mike says no jury walkthrough benefits. Type a 1 if you were on the jury and you would have wanted to walk through that house. I'll type my 1 right now. I don't know how you could say you wouldn't want to. And anybody that says that they wouldn't, you probably shouldn't be picked for a jury. Because what are some things that you would understand by walking through that house? Wow, when I step on the floor or when I walk up the stairs, it creaks so loud that if you're in any bedroom, you hear it. Okie dokie Lisa says, I want to know for a fact if there was blood. This is an honest question. I reserve the right to ask a stupid question. I don't know the answer to this. The jury, if they were to walk through that house, I understand they would have cleaned it up. Would they have marked where blood was? Would they have? I believe they probably would have marked where the bodies were, but like, how much of the evidence in which they found when the jury would walk through however long later would, like, how much of that evidence would be pointed out? Does anybody know how they do that? Nash, Tennessee guy, says they would have left it. Sleuther Dare says there would have been stains for sure. Jen Designs for You says probably just the pictures would have shown it. Big Red Face says they leave the blood. Thank you, Crowned. Good to see you. Crowned says that's not a dumb question. You get a top dog. On behalf of me, Crowned. Thank you. And thank you to Bonnie Bailey for the super sticker and Inside Your Bones, who says much love to everyone. Much love to you, Inside Your Bones. Nash, Tennessee guy follows up in all caps and says, it stays, period. In Majorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida, the building stayed locked for nearly 2 years. Wow. I agree. Rachel, who lives near the ice wall, says that house would have smelled effed up. I've said that if you're a nurse or if you work in healthcare, I mean, just other bodily fluids, you get off the elevator on certain units, you can just tell. You know what I mean? You can just tell. So, and 1-1, what up, man? 1-1 is an NYPD officer. He says the smell would be UVer. Thank you, Angel Heart 7926 for the super sticker. You rock. Well, this is a great question. Adri 7723 or Audrey 7723. I wonder if anyone smelled fresh paint. Not just fresh paint. What about bleach? What about cleaning products? The doors were allegedly left open. Or no, they weren't. Or they were. It's not a bad point. And all right, if anybody was on the live last night, we played Jenna McClure's, if you want to call it an interrogation video. And there was a quote that said, I pretty much live there. I was going to move in next semester or next year. What about Murphy? The cop says. Well, I saw them let Murphy out. Now, there's a couple of things that we can start to corroborate that we've never tried to corroborate before, at least here in the Hive. This is probably the only stream that will be able to say that while, yes, we all knew that these existed and we've tried to put together, these things all separately into the mainstream narrative and they didn't work. All of these little tidbits that are coming out, we need to start to piece together in one collective thing. I was talking to the mods this morning, and what I would like to do in regards to Linda Lane footage is anytime that we hear noise, so the earliest Linda Lane footage that we have, wherever the soonest chaotic noise is, I believe it's 1:30 mark, right? I think that's a pretty big timestamp. I know that is, but what if we cut out all of the time in between when the noise starts and we got rid of the timestamp and we didn't know when the timestamp was, and we just took the noise of the chaos? And what if we just stitched all of that noise together? Something tells me it would come out to about 15 minutes of chaos. Now, is it a stretch to think that if you have 1112 footage where you got to put 500 clips together that Ann Taylor calls out, you got to stitch it together, that you couldn't manipulate some stuff? Oh, and there's footage missing from the dumpster cam, and there's footage missing from the car park, and right? I mean, who's to say you could have just zoom in on a 16.9 ratio? If you've ever edited a video for YouTube or TVs, that's the ratio of the screen. So what you guys are seeing me on now is 16.9. You just zoom in a little bit to the point where the naturally occurring timestamp is off, or you just crop it out. You get a running timestamp and you just put it where it should be. It wouldn't be very hard to let that running timestamp just be an overlay on mismatched, stitched clips. But I would say a lot of the noise and shit that you hear, if you were to just take those separately, do you guys think that would come out to be about 15 minutes worth of chaos? Because I do. I absolutely think all of the sketchy shit between Gun Rack Guy and people that have said, they hear somebody say Narcan or Farley, and then when the cars are all driving around, I mean, it's about 15 minutes. Now, it might be separated by a bunch of time filler. It makes a lot of sense. You would put random shit or nothing at all in between that if you're going to cover it up, to cover up the delay in the 911 call, and to have a bookmark, or I'm sorry, a bookend. You need a start, which is Kaylee and Maddie coming home from the grub truck, and then you need a bookend being Molly, the DoorDash driver. Okay? That takes 15 minutes and it turns it into 2 hours. And then the 911 call, let's not do that till almost noon. So now you've taken 15 minutes and you've turned it into 8 hours plus. And thank you, Inside Your Bones. People edit footage for a living. Yeah, watch any movie. It's not hard to pay someone to do whatever you want when you're the cops, especially when you have so much to hide. Pretty Sweet Pea says, yes, all the things. I try so hard to understand, but it's hard that it is. Big Amish Media says filler. Well, Christy G says, Birdie, the cop asked, where is Murphy? Murphy went missing from the shelter. But, well, I agree. I've heard that. Why would Jenna McClure, who apparently just shows up the next day, ever get asked about Murphy? When we see Murphy being walked around on a leash many times on body cam footage after the 911 call. To me, it sounds like Jenna is being asked about that night. Now, that's just my opinion. I've heard what you were stating in the past about Murphy being taken to a shelter. Yes. Yeah, because that's what I was just saying, UFO Dog. Why would it matter where Murphy was the next day? Why would she know? And we're going to watch that interview. I have that planned. And let's not forget about this, too. These are real text messages from our boy Steve G, who says, quote, this case is a train wreck, and talks about the grand jury saying no when he says they in this message here. He says, the grand jury said she heard everything and even admitted saying via text, I think someone killed them. She just didn't call and report it, even as she was hiding. Now, let me ask y'all something. And thank you so much, Drew Bledsoe, for the super chat. Says, did someone say Murphy? Rosie, Murphy. Who had Murphy at 6 a.m.? Well, that's a great question. Welcome to the Hive, Wood Fairy. Thank you for subscribing. These are all great questions. And I believe that we need to keep all of these in mind this evening as we dive into this. Now, when I talk about these texts from Steve G, you know, I don't believe that Steve G is dumb. I was saying this on Discord earlier. He might come off unpolished in the media, but if you were to step back and just grade him on how effective are you, you got to give him an A+. You got to give him an A+ if you want to talk about making waves in the media and either distracting, misdirecting, or cryptically giving some sort of clue. Right? I mean, you can't say he's a dumbass. And when a victim's parent is saying, the grand jury said that Dylan heard everything and even admitted saying via text, I think someone killed them, quote, she just didn't call and report it even as she was hiding. Again, everybody, how can we just discount that? How can we take some of the stuff that Steve G says and say it's the opposite or that is what it is? But how can we not take everything and at least have a second to look through that light? Take a second to look through that light, rather. The other thing that we haven't really looked into is Steve G said this is not drugs. Can I ask an honest question? Because if I'm being honest with myself, I've really locked into the drug aspect of this case. And I'm going to practice what I preach in the terms of, okay, well, I can't just look at this text about Dylan and the grand jury and take that for granted and say there might be truth to that because it fits my own narrative. And then discount the fact that Steve also said, I don't know why people think this has to do with drugs. This has nothing to do with drugs. It could also, like, I'm also acknowledging it could be misdirection. Yes. But how many people, be honest, how many theories have we talked about, at least on this channel, that haven't somehow come back to drugs in one way or another? It's been a very long time. Would you guys agree with that? We have absolutely had blinders on. Yet a victim's father, quote, said this has nothing to do with drugs. Can we all agree that maybe we've spent enough time on those theories? Let's just like experiment. What happens if we take that out of the picture? Yeah, and Jen Designs for You says he lies. Well, okay. So, you know, he does lie, but how do you, again, we think he lies because of what? The redactions? Because of what he says, and it's different. And I'm not trying to get up here and just also spin all of you around. I'm just trying to say from a mentality standpoint, right? It's corruption. It has all these aspects, but from a theory of the timeline, how long has it been since we've considered maybe there's not drugs involved? Well, and Batshit Crazy says, what if it had to do with Hex? Misinformation says the birdie, the drugs are a red herring. Sherlock Rome said, Wild West, corruption always has and always will manifest as grown adults pretending to be ignorant on purpose. Got a boy, Sherlock. Phoenix says, not drugs at all. Christy Copyright says, nobody takes SG seriously. Showtime 61555 says, Steve's history is checkered. Angel Heart says, Steve's very aware of the AKs. Nana Cal says, misleading. Gone Girl 420 says, not a love triangle, quote Stacy Chapin. Because look, it's one or the other, right? He's either saying, I don't know why people think drugs are involved to protect the entire thing, right? Or the obvious other side is there's really not. My entire point is this, is that if we're going to say that, so then are we going to put this in the same light? Because what do you think is more detrimental to the case? A victim's father saying there's no drugs involved, or a victim's father saying, no, one of the surviving roommates who waited 8 hours to call the grand jury members that we were put into contact with said there's a text that said, quote, I think someone killed them, and she didn't call and report it. To me, what's on the screen right now is way more damning and way more of a bombshell than drugs being involved or not, from a theory standpoint. Would you guys agree? Like if you were a different family that was in this situation, to me, this text would matter more than if, quote, drugs were involved or not. It would be this. Wait, the grand jury said that there's a text message that says, quote, I think someone killed them. And she didn't call and she didn't report it. Yeah, I'm going to care more about that than if there was college kids using drugs. Momo's thinking says he said people would be shocked too. Thank you for the super sticker, Angel Heart 7926. Appreciate you. Sherlock says exactly, Birdie. Look, all I'm doing is I'm also, while giving everybody this lens to look through here in the chat. I'm also trying to help myself as I'm speaking this into the mic. Let's just take a night and think, what if it wasn't drugs? What if it wasn't drugs? I think we kind of have to look through that lens for a few theories. I think that drugs could be involved, obviously. There's a few theories where they might not at all be. And it's just rather prominent because of victims' parents. And that's what I'm getting at. I don't know how to say that username. I've seen it. Avi, Florida, Nevada, says that only leaves relationships, or as Big Amish Media says, human trafficking. Squirrel Nest says she freaking knew. Amanda Bambi says it's personal. Gene Fantauzi says, I love the way you think. More need to be like you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You are surrounded by many who think like this. Formerly known as Z says, yep, pay for play. Pretty Sweet Pea says, what else, Birdie? That would make Popo and Kaylee more likely. Well, I don't know. I think that it's really hard for people to just slow down for a second. Let's just slow down. Does anybody feel satisfied with any theory that's out there right now? I would give my best theory. Okay, I'm going to get flack for this. I don't even care. I'd give it a C+. I'd give it a very like average. Nothing that I have put out myself do I feel like I would feel confident, gun to my head, this is what happened. Not even close. 70% would be on the high end. And I hope you guys can see, like, I'm not saying that to like F with anybody. I'm just trying to be like honest with that. I have my big overarching theory of some big operation, but if it was for drugs, okay, fine. There's an argument to be made, but it still doesn't answer a lot of questions. If it's not for drugs and the FBI got involved in something else, well, then my theory is at about 20%. And I agree, Ariana. Ariana says, because we're missing large pieces of the puzzle that they'll never give us. Well, it's like, if you don't want anybody to ever solve a puzzle, what do? You dump the puzzle out on the table, you scramble it around, you take a handful of it, you put it in a bag, and then you throw the bag in the river, and nobody ever finds those pieces. Therefore, the puzzle will always be unsolved. KS Chess and Art says a federal operation is my number one because of all the cover-up. Amanda Bambi says, I think we've been overthinking it. Smick says, I think Dot just copied Bob. LOL. Robin, shout out to one of my mods, says, I'm not satisfied at all because there are too many variables that make it impossible to go with one theory. That's a great point. How weird is it? Again, all of this footage, all of these documents, all of these photos. You got Amazon, Dateline, and James Patterson's book, whether you could wipe your ass with them or not. You got all that stuff. And all these variables still apply to, conservatively, 3 things, 4 things, as far as theories go, right? Shoe Girl says, I feel like the 4 murders weren't necessarily linked, which means there was multiple reasons for these murders. Susan says, how can you not with all the rabbit holes that you've been down in 3 years? I know. You know what's funny? I was thinking about this today. Okay, I was thinking about this today. I've put out theories on Brian Laundrie, on Chris Watts, on who's the dude that the hotel guy, where it made no sense how he fell through the roof and ended up in that old hotel room. Somebody will know. Right? I put out thoughts on Stephen Avery. I've gone into JFK and that whole theory. Right? Not Trevor Moore. I've talked about Scott Peterson. No, but there was one where it was like there was a parking garage. It was in Baltimore, the Baltimore Hotel. Yeah, like he jumped or whatever. Yeah, it was a Hispanic dude. What the hell is that guy's name? I'll just look it up. Ray Rivera. Okay, my whole point is this. I've said stuff on all of those cases. And it has gotten like, okay, so when Brian Laundrie was never at his parents' house, boom, skyrocketed. Chris Watts, where I said, maybe Shanann walked in on them. Boom, skyrocket. Maybe Ray Rivera was hit by a car off the parking ramp. Boom, skyrocket. Stephen Avery, maybe somebody on his own defense team set him up for the payout so that the county didn't have to pay out Stephen Avery. They made a deal with somebody on Stephen's own team, seeming how a lot of the evidence showed up right after these walkthroughs. Like, you can go on a lot of shit. This is the only time that I've ever thought, quote, contrarily about cases that I've gotten so much hate that has gotten no traction consistently. It's not about just getting traction, but it's about, like, how does that happen? You have a track record of saying stuff, and then you go, oh my God, there's no way that Brian Koberger could have done this by himself. He's not a serial killer. He's not a loner. He's not an incel. He's not this. He's not that. He's got dexterity issues. I mean, for God's sakes, look at the way that he walks into the store. Frankenstein's awkward nephew. Right? But no, that one I'm wrong on. I'm not even saying that I'm right on the other ones. But what I'm saying is typically when you say stuff like that, most people have this light bulb moment of, okay, that could make sense. Not this one. And I'm not the only person to experience it. And Joe Scribe says we have one more piece of the puzzle, the fifth roommate, and that's absolutely what we're about to be getting into. Before I do that, I want to talk about this, so this photo down here, I screen grabbed from the new Grub Truck footage, or I'm sorry, not the Grub Truck footage, excuse me, the Corner Club footage. This person's wearing a white purse, as you can see. Obviously, at the Grub Truck later, this person's wearing a white purse as well. You can see it up here. Idaho. Now, what's interesting, though, is this. I hope people understand that when I say, wow, who does that person move like? It kind of looks like Xana. Oh, and the hoodie kind of matches this hoodie. And they go, well, do you know how many people have that hoodie? And I want to just say, yeah, no shit. I'm aware of that. Oh, it's game day. Yes, a lot of people are going to be wearing that hoodie. I'm not that dumb to not consider that. What I'm trying to say is, why is this chick's face not blurred on any other footage? Except at the Corner Club. Released how many years later? I'd be curious if we watch this, what's the height? Okay, so yes, white purse, right here, potentially. All I'm saying is this. The hoodies look very similar. And it's not to say that it was for sure Xana at the bar because, and then people also go, she couldn't get in. She's not 21. Oh my God. I can't believe that we're even having to say this. Do you don't think that people under 21 get into college bars? I'm not trying to be rude, but guys, how can you say that you can critically think, but then you'll not only have that thought, you'll take the time to type it out and then press send and leave it in the comments of she's not of age to get into a bar. I'm not trying to roast anybody, but I mean, for God's sakes, we're here talking about a potential illegal drug cover up in 99% of our theories, but damn it, she won't drink underage at a bar. Yeah, it's like Shoe Girl said, if Birdie couldn't figure out that many people could own that hoodie, then you guys wouldn't be here right now. Of course. Of course. It's very obvious. Like, wow, you guys really had some groundbreaking ideas that multiple people are going to have that hoodie and that it was game day and that, yes, there's a lot of Idaho hoodies out here. I'm not trying to be a dick right now, but I'm like, I know. See, and then Teresa's even saying that's not Xana. As I'm saying this, no shit, Teresa. I know. My whole point is this, and I mean that nicely. It's just like, I get it. But also, how weird is it that this person's blurred? You know what I mean? I know. That comment came in at the wrong time, Teresa. So, yeah, it's just, there's so many weird things, and it's strangely blurred too. Yeah, Sunset Rising says DM was 19. That didn't stop her from drinking. I mean, for God's sakes, how many people here have bought and booze underage? Where the drinking age was 21. I have. I've gotten into bars underage by a couple years. I've used a fake ID. I did it in college. I'm trying to rather point out that while, yes, I'm aware that it could be this girl, but it is also weird just that Xana is wearing a very, very similar hoodie. Everything is blurred out, and we don't know where Xana was, is my point. Yeah. And thank you, Leanne Stanley. Her name's Peyton. What's up, Gamble? Anonymous Reckoning says, I got arrested for it twice. You know what? I never had an underage. And, well, what was the other part of that? I never got an underage. What was like the two things that I used to say? I got 0 points off on my driver's test and I had never got an underage. I feel like that's relatively hard to do, right? No? Maybe? Maybe not? Maybe that's a weird flex. Maybe that's a lame ass flex. I have no idea. Chelsea said, I did, but they let me go because I cried. Yeah, Pierre says, congratulations. I'm going to clown horn myself for that. I'm a goody good, everybody. So, all right. Now, here's where I'm going this evening. We got Jenna McClure, who has the initials JM, obviously, as most people know. Shows up quite a bit on all the texts and the calls. So one of the reasons why I was talking about with Steve G and the not having the drug angle was just to, what if we just went off of, what if we forgot, again, everything that we know and we just looked at each individual police interview by itself? Yeah, Richard says you must have been a good kid. Well, like I said, I would relapse from time to time on being an absolute menace as a kid. But does that make sense? And I just want to, I kind of want to go through JM's police interview again now, where it's expected. And we got almost 1,100 people in here and not even 700 likes. As I get this video loaded up, I'm going to load it up on YouTube here. Let's take 20 seconds. Hit that damn like button, Hive. Do it. Get it out there. I'm not turning this off until people hit it. I know there's some people in here that are like, stop that. That's making me itch, which is hilarious. But I could see why also. and also just this too, like, you know, what's interesting is people are saying, oh, this is AI footage. This is AI footage. Okay. Hello. Well, if it's AI footage, then that's also a huge problem. Why is the timestamp the day after at 9:40? Why does the grub truck look completely stripped down? Why does the scene in the background not match? Why are there lights on that shouldn't be on? Why don't the girls have food when they walk to their car? Is that AI, or is that just like, oh shit, there's not as much effort put into manipulating that film? That makes it way worse. It doesn't make any sense. The scrub truck. Dana is working on shirts that say that, by the way. She sent me the mock-ups this morning. So here, well, I guess I was going to say, like, I feel like the scrub truck is a hilarious shirt idea. I don't want to keep doing polls, but type a 1 if you would wear a scrub truck shirt. I would wear one. Yeah, and the design's hilarious too that she came up with. Yeah. So, see, gosh dang it, Hive. We're going to watch Jenna's interview. There's so much stuff that I found today going through Discord, going through my emails, just looking at stuff. And this article from the New York Post, I just want to show this. This is, put your tinfoil hat on, okay? If you don't know how to think critically, just exit out of this chat right now. If you're going to yell at somebody for, you know, trying to look up what something that's kind of weird is said would be mean, or what it could mean, just exit out. You're not going to like this. Okay. So any NPCs, just grab your salt and scram. You've been warned. And yes, I don't know why these things glitch out so much. Maybe I have it on here still. Okay, I do. I screenshotted it because I knew that was going to happen. But in that New York Post article, here's what it says. At the bottom here, it says, Maddie adored all things pink and sparkly and loved rewatching the 1987 flick, quote, The Princess Bride, Laramie told the outlet. For whatever reason, something in my head said, you need to screenshot this, Birdie, and you need to see what this could mean. Okay? It says, quote, "The Princess Bride isn't just any film. It's about deception, mistaken identity, and love enduring through death. The line, quote, 'as you wish,' means I love you in disguise. That's thematically rich if this quote appears in the context of a tragic or mysterious story. It paints Maddie as someone who cherished purity and fantasy, but if the surrounding story involves violence or deception, it also creates a narrative contrast. A girl whose ideals clashed with a crueler world." Right? So I don't know. Yeah, people are saying, "as you wish." Sherlock said killers have streamed false pre-recorded videos as live stream on Twitch many, many times, then try to use Twitch Live to make false timeline and alibi. Happens all the time. Many examples. Yeah, it's crazy. Shoe Girl says, "I used to have that whole movie memorized." UFO Dog says, "I do love that movie." What's up, Rod? Thank you, Oceans 1111. Says, "Love to Mr. and Mrs. Birdie and Baby Birdie." Yeah, I love that. So crazy still. So exciting. Thank you to everybody that says stuff like that. It genuinely makes me so happy. Shoe Girl says, "Wesley was gorgeous. That's why I watched it so many times." Ariana says, "That's inconceivable." Truth Goddess says, "So what does that mean?" I don't know. I'm just saying that I thought it was weird that they referenced Princess Bride, and then Princess Bride, when they looked at this, like decoding what it could mean. Well, the story is essentially, if the story surrounding Maddie involves violence or deception, which we know it does, that creates a narrative contrast, being a girl whose ideals clash with a crueler world. So I don't know. I just thought it was weird that in the New York Post it says, out of all things they could say, it talks about a favorite movie. I don't know. It just stuck out. It stuck out compared to the rest of the article. May. Just doing May. Yeah, they love archetypes and symbolism. Yeah, Crisis, where have you been? Mitty Witty says it is symbolically accurate for sure. Big J Money says these things always line up because they have to tell the truth. So they do it. Subliminal messaging and hiding in plain sight. Isn't it interesting how, like, so many people know this now, and yet so many people can't? They'll just, and I'm not, who's ever comment I had up, was it Teresa? Not Teresa, but somebody just said, "Well, why?" I can't answer that other than, like, in any other way other than what Big J Money said. They do this. I don't know why they do it. It's weird. I think it's weird to manipulate and to have this power hungry urge to control society, because I'm not wired that way. You're probably not wired that way. So I don't know why people think like that. But I can tell you that Big J Money is on the money, no pun intended, with they put this symbolism right in your face. They have to do it. They have to tell you, whether it's the rule of karma, whether it's just, who knows? Yeah, Crumple Stitzel. I can't say your name, for Christ's sake. It says, yeah, I have a life. Well, that's also a good point, Brandon. That does sum it up. They do it because putting the ideas out there, even subliminally, make it reality. What up, Avery Snyder? Says true crime, everything. Admin here. Love your content. This is getting wild. Absolutely. Good to see you. So Uma says, so they're only mostly dead. I've never seen The Princess Bride. I don't know. I'm just saying, and that should tell you guys that that's how much in the article it just stuck out as random. I've never seen it. So I was like, why would they just randomly throw a movie blurb in there? Misinformation says it's part of their magic. CK says you have to see the movie. Okay, geez, I didn't know. I didn't know. So is that's in the movie Mostly Dead? Okay. See, I wouldn't know that. That's why I took that approach. I was like, I don't know. Okay, Christ. Everyone's coming at me. Mildly dead. Inconceivable. Oh, man. All right. Well, thank you, LA Mike. Appreciate that, bro. All right. Let's watch Jenna McClure's interview. Shout out to Chrissy's Chaos or Chrissy Nevada, her backup profile.
I'm not sure. Very not this year. Yes, please. All right. So what's your first name? What's your middle initial? And what's your last name?
Can we just start with this? Clearly, this was FOIA requested or something. Jenna McClure interview. I know that this is what Chrissy typed in, but why are you bleeping it out? I'm so sick of that. That makes me think you are doing something nefarious. You can't say it's just to protect these people anymore. These people have gone onto Amazon and Netflix, and they're in James Patterson's book. They're in court documents. They're in police reports. They're on the world news. Why are you doing this to us? Why? Not even us. Why are you doing this to the families? What is wrong with you people? It's a matter of national security. Don't you know? As Sherlock says. God dang it. I mean, really, that's what makes people think it's nefarious. I don't want to think it's nefarious. I want to find the truth. But when you just redact simple shit, after a while, when it's time and time again, and it's absolutely everything, when we know what these people look like, and then you're going to release footage that really shows us jack shit, and then you're going to redact their faces in that. They were just on the world news for a sentencing and a plea hearing, or a sentencing hearing. But let's redact the original body cam footage for the 911 because we don't know what they all look like now, right? What is happening? Okay, sorry. I can't.
What's your date of birth?
2003.
And what's a good phone number for you?
I'm going crazy, Hive. Literally. I watch this stuff in my free time as well. And I just can't fathom it. I can't fathom it. So yeah, it does take 0.5 seconds after pressing play.
And what's a good address for you? Okay. So what do you know?
So I texted back this morning when I woke up to ask her to I just asked her if she was awake.
Dude. Big J money. Big J money. You just gave me an idea that I have no idea if this is going to work out. But I've learned because of this case that there are websites and apps that allow you to view multiple YouTube videos that are synced up in time, side by side. And I swear to God, if I watch these other interviews and this cop writing notes moves the exact same way, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to continue to crash out, say that I'll shit a golden brick, and then nothing will ever get done about it, even though it's very obviously potentially manipulated. But could you guys imagine? Let me pull that up. So Big J Money, top dog to you. They do Dylan's interview from that same angle, right? You know what else is so frustrating? Like if I type in Dylan Mortensen police statement. Oh. Well, I guess Plunder has it pop up. There's one video of it. Okay. Forget what I was just going to say. But in general, have you guys noticed like when you type in anything Idaho 4, like nothing relevant pops up for it? All right, I'm adding them in. Hang on. Queen Bee says, Birdie, you shit golden chickens, not golden bricks. What's up, Bronx Tales, True Crime? I have noticed that, yes. In a way, in a weird way. I don't know if you're being cryptic in saying that, Sherlock. I'm just syncing them up right now. All right, I got him. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
And what's your last name? Have everybody you actually spelled it the common way? What's your date? You can't see me go crazy with you?
2003.
What's your middle initial? I'll take a phone number for you. And what's your last name? And what's a good address for you? What's your date of birth?
2003.
So what is a good phone number for you?
So I texted back this morning when I woke up. I was going to, I just asked her if she was awake because I wanted to cook or something.
Do you have any pictures of anything or anything like that in social media posts?
No.
Okay.
Like, we're kind of like in my room right now.
And what's a good address for you?
They're just kind of freaked out. Like,
Just me. Somewhere. Where are you living right now?
Talking
You
to
here
someone saying,
at the
I saw
university?
somebody or something, and I just didn't know what was going on.
What
I'm
house is
scared,
that?
like, I'm concerned for you guys, like, you guys will
Is that an
be able to
apartment or a sorority?
It's a house. Like, can you just come over? And I was like,
I don't know the sorority, so I apologize. I don't even know if there's a, what's there.
Yeah. Also, just to check things out.
Dude. I mean, it looks... It's not exactly synced up because I couldn't time them exactly right. I mean, I'll go back to, like, I'd have to go back to when they walked in. It didn't get them walking in exactly at the same time. So I'll have to do that. Let me get it to where...
Now she spoke to the... Listen, please.
Wait, why is that playing? I mean, one second. This is probably as close as I'm going to get it, maybe.
Yes. All right. I mean,
I mean, this is probably as close as I'll be able to get it right here. There's extra papers and stuff. Not that that would be the hardest to edit out. I know that people are going to say I probably sit the same way. It's just interesting to look at. Guys, it goes back to the hoodie thing. You don't think that we don't know many people have the Idaho hoodie. We're just looking at it, but it's like, let's just see. Okay? We got Dylan Mortensen on the right, and we got Jenna McClear on the left. And if people say echo, 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 there's two audios going of two different videos. Just, it's not an echo. It's just two, both videos are playing the audio at the same time. So do you guys want me to mute it? Not that we're going to be able to hear it, so I can mute it and we can just watch. Or do you want me to just have one? I'll just leave Jenna's on, actually.
so what's your first name? Have everybody you actually spelled it the common way? You parents even go translating you? Okay. What's your date of birth?
2003.
And what's a good phone number for you? And what's a good address for you? Okay.
Avi says, are we really trying to figure out if it's the same video? No. No. Big J Money just said, look at the movements. Look at how similar they are. And honestly, I think it was worth looking into because so much footage is manipulated and changed around that it was at least curious to see. You're right. Has anybody put two of these interviews side by side? The cop does do almost the exact same mannerism. It's not to say these are the same video, but if they were to manipulate it, rather.
So what do you know?
So I texted back this morning when I woke up to ask her to, I just asked her if she was awake because I wanted to call her something, and she called me about an hour later and said, hey, like we're kind of, me and We're like in my room right now. Like the rest of our roommates aren't answering. They're just kind of freaked out. And I heard on the phone in the background, like talking to someone saying like, I saw somebody or something, and I just didn't know what was going on. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, I'm concerned for you guys. Like, do you guys want me to come pick you up? And she was like, honestly, yeah, like, can you just come over? And I was like, sure. And I was driving there, and she texted me and said, also on the way just to check things out.
Okay.
And then right when I pulled up, I'm pretty sure I rolled in right as the police were behind me.
Okay.
So I parked to the side, like kind of near, like in front of the house, and then the police came.
What time did you?
Isn't it weird you wouldn't know which
that shows
audio is
a little
going?
bit that was coming.
Yeah, first time you texted her.
I texted her, you awake at 11:20.
Okay. Was that using just Messenger?
It was iMessage.
Okay. It's two people that are actually using the native text. Thank you.
Yes,
So using
that's
Snapchat. Thank you.
Snapchat.
And then what time did she reply?
I'm trying to see the time that she called me.
I think you just slide it to the left. Try to slide it to show it.
Oh, okay. So she called me at 11:49.
Okay.
So that was when we were talking.
Hold on. Also, did this cop just tell a college-age girl how to figure out when somebody called you by saying, I think just slide it to the left. It should show you. Yeah. Okay. Why are you telling her that? Aren't you interrogating this person? Why give them any help to find their time?
And that's when she said, hey, yeah, I want you to come get me.
Yeah, actually she was like, hold on one sec, and hung up before she asked to come get me.
Okay.
And then she texted me at 11:15, said 1 sec, and then at the same time I said, you guys want me to come get you? And then she said yes.
Okay. Did you attend the party last night at all?
No.
Okay.
I was at a different
What is he even
party,
writing?
and I actually came over to that party. Later in the night. With me too at one point too.
Okay.
She went, but they both ended up at my party at some point.
So did you leave the party before or after that your party?
My party, I was there the whole time. She left before
Okay.
me.
What time did you leave roughly?
Let me look. I can also tell you because she was also there. I'd say around 1 a.m.
Okay. What time did
Left at like 12:30. Yeah, it was like 12:30. And I was actually about to leave with her, and then I decided to stay.
Okay.
And I knew she was going home.
Okay. So in the time that left, didn't hear anything from anybody? Okay.
No, she just came up to me and she was like, hey, I'm gonna leave. And then I had to goodbye and she left.
So obviously you know or,
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Do you know Maddie and
Yes.
all them?
Yes.
And are you in a sorority?
I'm with Dylan and Bethany and I.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
All right. We're going to get granular. They redact Dylan and Bethany's name. And he doesn't say Maddie and Kaylee. He says Maddie and all them. Yo, are we the crazy people? Is this not a murder police interrogation? You know, Dylan and Bethany. What about Maddie and all them? What?
I know Xana and Maddie because they were in Pine. And then I met Kaylee just because she's their roommate.
And then there's also...
She is, yeah.
And I apologize, Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee?
What about them?
Are they all the same story?
Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee dropped the... So, Xana and Maddie...
So, look, I think that Big J Money brought up a point, at least good enough for us to play it side by side for as long as we have. The dude is moving very similarly. There's an argument to be made like, okay, when you do it the same way over and over and over again. Can't really argue that. I probably do the same mannerisms here on camera. You could take any of these interviews in this angle that they've shown and dub audio over any of them, and it could probably apply to it. I'm not saying that's what they did, but I thought it was at least enough of an intriguing point by Big J Money to look at it. So we have Jenna McClear. Let me just remind everybody. Let's just remind people too, what does, a real murder question scene look like?
I'm
Okay.
They put music behind it. Those sons of bitches.
What do you think should happen if someone does something like this to somebody else?
They obviously get prison time. I don't know.
I have not touched him.
How would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know.
I'm hoping that she's still alive. And that's really, I really do, I'm holding out for that. And if she's not alive, then I think she and her family are due that knowledge. I think I think they need some closure.
Please, God, please, God, just let me talk to you.
whether it's a suspect's reaction to a new piece of information.
So let me do this. Does anybody see one person blurred out? What about here? What about here? I can click anywhere on this video. Any blurring? Anything? No, crystal clear footage. Doesn't matter where you click. But no, this case, it's just going to be everybody.
Because I wanted to come for something, and she called me about an hour.
So we're going to restart Jenna's interview. We're going to watch it one time through. It's 13 minutes, and I'm only going to stop it for crazy shit that we hear. So now that we're not synced up.
Right now, Crystal.
Let me hear.
Listen, please. All right. So what's your first name? What's your middle initial? And what's your last name? Okay. What's your date of birth?
2003.
And what's a good phone number for you? And what's a good address for you? Okay. So what do you know?
So I texted back this morning, when I woke up to ask her to, I just asked her if she was awake because I wanted to call her something, and she called me about an hour later and said, hey, like we're kind of, me and Zach are like in my room right now, like the rest of our roommates aren't answering. They're just kind of freaked out, and I heard on the phone in the background like talking to someone saying like I saw somebody or something, and I just didn't know what was going on, and I was like, okay, that's weird, like I'm concerned for you guys, like do you guys want me to come pick you up? And she was like, honestly, yeah, like can you just come over? And I was like, sure.
Are we to believe that this is really happening at 11 something? That Dylan is still going on about from 4 a.m. till noon, or actually I could show you 11:49, that Dylan is still just going on about, I think I saw someone. Really?
And I was driving there and she texted me and said, also on the way just to check things out. And then right when I pulled up, I'm pretty sure I rolled in right as the police were behind me. So I parked to the side, like kind of near, like in front of the house, and then the police came.
What time did you
Going on, and I was like, okay, that's weird, like I'm concerned for you guys, like do you guys want me to come pick you up? And she was like, honestly, yeah, like can you just come over? And I was like, sure. And I was driving there and she texted me and said, also on the way just to check things out. And then right when I pulled up, I'm pretty sure I rolled in right as the police were behind me. So I parked to the side, like kind of near, like in front of the house, and then the police came.
What time did you
that she was awake, or that was coming?
Yeah, first time you texted her.
I texted her, you awake at 11:20. iMessage.
It's two people that are actually using the native text. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you. And then what time did she reply?
I'm trying to see the time that she called me.
I think if you slide it to the left, try to slide it to the short.
Oh, okay. So she called me at 11:40.
Yo, did they give her ass an iPhone with preloaded messages? Honestly, did the cops preload a phone with messages? And then is he about to say, what time was that at? Was that iMessage? Was that native message? And then just to make it seem more legit, it's like he's now reminding her, swipe left, on the phone that we gave you, which we are allowing you to have your phone on you in this interrogation. Because I would also say, how many other people are you going to see their phones allowed out like this for? Christ.
Okay. So that was when we were talking.
And that's when she said, hey, yeah, I want you to come get me.
Yeah. Congrats on using iMessage. Thank you. What a weird thing.
Yeah, actually she was like, hold on one sec, and hung up before she asked to come get me. And then she texted me at 11:50 and said 1 sec, and then at the same time I said, you guys want me to come get you? And then she said yes.
Okay. Did you attend the party last night at all? Yes.
No.
Okay.
I was at a different party, and I actually came over to that party. Later in the night, with me too at one point too. Okay. She went, but they both ended up at my party at some point.
So did you leave the party before or after that your party?
My party, I was there the whole time. She left before me.
What time did you leave roughly?
I can also tell you because she was also there.
Let me just refer to my notes. Guys, look, all right, I got to calm down. I'm getting worked up over and over and over again. This case is doing this to me. Because now, she could be literally just reading even if the cops didn't give her this timeline, right? I'm saying in general, isn't it weird that this guy is letting her just scroll through her phone? What if all of them had their phones out and were able to say, this is what we're going to talk about? It's like he's giving her the opportunity to make sure the story is straight. It's not just necessarily this interview. It's a theme in all of them.
I'd say around 1 a.m.
Okay. What time did
left at like 12:30. Yeah, it was like 12:30. And I was actually about to leave with her, and then I decided to stay.
Okay.
And I knew she was going home.
Okay. So from the time that left, didn't hear anything from anybody? Okay.
No, she just came up to me. She was like, hey, I'm gonna leave. And then I had to go back. She left.
So obviously you know
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know Maddie and
Yes.
all them?
Yes.
And are you in a sorority?
I'm with Dylan and Bethany and I.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
And I know Xana and
Right. Doesn't it, if you just were to listen, doesn't it seem almost like a role play exercise in a classroom? Like you're given this story, make it seem real. You're acting in front of your class is almost what it sounds like. I know. I'm doing my best, I'm doing my best. Oh, fucking A. I just went back to the beginning. Sorry. Oh, shit.
she is, yeah.
And I apologize. Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee?
What about them?
Are they all the same story?
Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee dropped the. So Xana and Maddie were both in but they dropped.
Okay.
And Kaylee was in and she dropped. So they were all dropouts. They weren't in a sorority.
Okay.
Or they aren't anymore.
Okay, for somebody who doesn't understand the whole sorority for
Christy, so Christy says, Birdie, did you see Chandler Halverson case? Girlfriend caught him by Snapchat location during the questioning. This is questioning, not interrogation. Okay. I guess. Like what does that mean though, in regards to this? Along with everything else in this case, there's no interrogation of anybody. It's all just questioning. I guess. So what should they be looking for, Christy? Like, are you saying this is some sort of like a tactic in questioning? I'm genuinely just wondering.
Why would you drop out?
Money issues, or you're just not liking, like the girls telling you what to do all the time. Okay. I guess that's their kind of issue. I think it was. There's girls in the house that are like a part of leadership, and so they'll be like the executive board, kind of just telling you what to do, and they probably didn't really like it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thought that was what college was about, was not having to be bossed around.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. But you were still in...
I am.
Okay.
And
is?
Is. Yes.
And is?
Yes.
Okay.
And
why would somebody not live on, in this right or not live?
You can get granted live out if you're a sophomore or up.
Okay.
For Beth, it was just like money issues, and she just wanted her own space, and same with Dan.
Okay.
And Maddie's like sorority big, and so it was like perfect for Beth to like move into her house.
Maddie was...
Yeah.
Got it. So what year were Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee? What year of school?
Xana's a year above me. She was a junior. And I believe Kaylee was a senior, and I know Maddie was a senior. I know for sure Maddie was a senior. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Kaylee was a senior too.
Okay. So Maddie was a senior, so
Bethany's a sophomore, and so is
Okay. Okay. So is there anything that's been going weird with people talking, people showing up?
at the house, like the house.
At all. Yep.
I mean, I know that Kaylee, like a month ago, saw like a dark figure staring at her in the woods when she took her dog Murphy out to go pee, and I don't know, their apartment's always giving me like bad vibes, and we always we didn't joke about there being like a stalker, but we were like, seriously, like there's been countless times that we've been like just scared because like we hear things or.
And that's just at the house itself?
No, that's the house on Kings Road.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kaylee was upstairs. No, she's on the third floor, right? And you said that was about a month ago that she said that something weird happened?
I believe it was like a month ago, yeah.
Okay. Nothing else as far as text messages, social media, nothing that's
not that
getting the girls. Any problems between the sisters?
That live at the house or
just in general?
No, not at the apartment, no. They're all like best friends. Same with, there's no real big problem.
Nobody stole somebody's boyfriend or ate somebody's cookie?
You know, again, seeming how, right, I see dots in here. I see, people can absolutely be put into a compromised position that forced this to look the way that it does, right? I understand that. It is a little bit odd that, she says at the apartment, not the house, right? Is that a little bit weird? If we're really going to go granular?
No,
not at the apartment, no. They're all like best friends.
Media, nothing that's
not that
getting the girls. Any problems between the sisters?
That live at the house or just
in general?
No, not at the apartment, no. They're all like best friends. Same with, there's no real big problem.
Nobody stole somebody's boyfriend or ate somebody's cookies or.
I mean, probably, but can't think of anything.
Dude, I've said this before. If I'm sitting there and my friends were just brutally stabbed and some cop looks at me with a straight face and goes, "Oh, this wasn't over somebody stealing someone's cookies," I wouldn't laugh. I wouldn't chuckle. I would sit there with a straight face and just be like, no. Are we going to, get serious about this? I would say something. "Oh, someone stole their cookies? Someone wants cookie from Cookie Monster? This is a time to joke?" No, give me a break. And anybody that's not going to question this, take the person that's sitting in the chair, replace them with anybody, and just have it be somebody that is a friend, a family member, a witness, a survivor, not even just this murder, any murder. And you got a cop that says, "Was this over somebody stealing somebody's cookies?" See, that's where it's like, okay, now I'm going to stand up on this chair. I'm going to come in from the top rope, and I'm dropping the people's elbow on you, officer. Give me a break.
Nothing major.
Okay. Anything else you can think of that I should need to know? Just weird, out of place?
I mean, I was curious of how the person got in, but then I mean, sometimes their door doesn't lock all the way. They have a code to get in. Sometimes I just open it and it opens.
Okay. Did you know the code to get in?
I do,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it something common for the friends to know?
I was supposed to move in at semester or next year. So I've just been like basically living there.
Okay.
So yeah, I just knew the code because I'm really close with them. And one of my other close friends knows.
Friends to know?
I was supposed to move in at semester or next year. So I've just been like basically living there.
Okay.
So yeah, I just knew the code because I'm really close with them. Basically living there.
Okay.
So yeah, I just semester or next year. So I've just been like basically living there.
Okay.
So yeah, I just knew the code because I'm really close with them. And one of my other close friends knows it, but I don't know about anyone else. But yeah, sometimes I'll just go in. There's like a party happening and it's just like unlocked.
Right.
So
Sure. That makes sense.
yeah.
It sounds like there's a door off of the. So you were going to move in?
Yeah.
In next month?
So I was trying to get a live out granted for this upcoming semester. Usually you can't do that, but I know I did that last year, so I was going to try to do that.
I'm with you.
But I was for sure going to live in next year.
With the.
Let me close this window here. 1 second. So basically living there, is there a chance? See, this is what I mean. Is everybody covering for everybody at a certain point? Would you get in trouble if you don't have that approval to live off campus before you should be able to? Would that potentially risk a scholarship if the school is paying for you to live on campus? If you got some sort of grant or if you got some sort of in-state tuition that this price is based on you living here, not living off campus. So if she was caught living pretty much living there, right? Is she almost covering for herself by saying, well, no, I don't know. I was pretty much living there, but I wasn't going to move in until next semester or next year once I got approved and I did it right through all the okay, bombshell here. Wow. Dot is in the house. Good to see you. Dot says she was staying in the first level room to the right when you walk into the front door. Okay. So that kind of goes along with, was she trying to cover for the fact that she was living there when she shouldn't have been from the school standpoint? So I'm going to say I wasn't going to move in until next semester or the following year. And KS, Jess, and Art, great follow-up. I agree with this. It's like, well, we were told that was a room that Maddie and Kaylee used as an office. But it would also make sense. I believe it was Discord Dawn and I were talking. If that bed is kind of undone and stuff's like sporadic, was somebody just crashing there from time to time and using the bed? Was it just a, right? The other thing is, if Kaylee had been, so the threats of the stalker and whatever it is, what if Kaylee had moved out and Kaylee's room was really Jenna McClure's room? And that's then why Kaylee coming and staying back makes sense for her to be in the same bed as Maddie. And that extra office would have been an office. I'm just hypothesizing. Okay. I know what Dot said, but I'm saying, I'm just trying to think through, what if Kaylee had already moved out? She wasn't planning on coming back. Why have to be brought back? Why have to be invited back if all of your shit is still in your room? No, well, what if Jenna had pretty much been living there as she stated, And then Kaylee was in Maddie's bed because she had moved all of her stuff out. And Curious Cat says, nah, Kaylee's room had Kaylee's stuff in it. Okay. Meaning, was there stuff that had Kaylee's like name on it? Right? Or were we just told it was Kaylee's stuff? Because you can't tell me that Jenna McClure's room and Kaylee's room might look that different. What about any of, you ladies' rooms in here at the time of being a college age chick? Would it look that different from your friends? And it's like Murphy was in Kaylee's room, though. Well, again, we're going off what we've been told. There's people that say Murphy was this place, Murphy was that place. Curious Cat says, we know because from earlier pics way before it happened. Okay. So when she was still living there, those pictures of the room and stuff, they correlate with what was still in there. That's a reasonable, okay. That makes sense. Some videos show it. Right. I'm glad that we could do this in the chat. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just, again, throwing stuff out there. Yeah, and then there was rumors that Kaylee wasn't going to move at all. What's up, USA Kiwi, 1986? Well, yeah, Ashlyn Couch, Secret Soul Survivor says, what about Ashlyn Couch or whatever, who that was? Yeah, who is Jenna's boyfriend? And then, so going back to what Dot had said, Jenna stayed in the first floor. Maybe that's why they blurred it on the police cam. Okay, Dot says they stored Ethan's golf clubs in the spare, which Jenna was moving into in the closet. That's why they had easy access to them at the front door. Curious Cat. I'm glad that Curious Cat corroborated that with the photos from way before, because my brain was starting to race. So thank you, Curious Cat. Saying, I think Kaylee perhaps was tending to other matters is why she went for a little trip. Man, I could just sit here and read the chat. I mean, there are awesome comments coming in. I can't even put them all up. Yeah, easy access to what? The golf clubs. Curious Cat says, my speculations. The spare room is the playroom, says not Lamey Jamie. Shoe Girl says Kaylee may have been using the spare room for her own purposes. Cat's Mojo says, yes, the spare room was an all-access bedroom or office for random sleepovers, rotating roommates, other business. Fiji says that the golf clubs were a big deal in the beginning, then you didn't hear about them anymore. Smush room, the boom boom room. So Delaney says Kaylee's mom said she had moved home but still had some stuff there, but Dylan came and begged her to come back that weekend, and KG said she didn't really want to go but ended up going. Miss Jess throwing the tinfoil hat on. Maybe it was the security surveillance room. overall, though, Delaney sums it up. It's that now her mom and dad say, meaning Kaylee, so Steve and Chrissy say that she was still living there. No one can make up their minds. Let's play the rest of this.
So there's the front door that's got the keypad.
Yeah.
The back door from the kitchen.
The sliding one?
Yeah. Does that usually lock or unlock?
I've never really tried, but I know they're very cautious about that stuff, so they lock it.
Okay.
But I mean, a night out, I don't know if they would have, you know.
When everybody's coming back from a party?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's always locked, but
okay.
They have their trash can out there to the side of the sliding glass door, so maybe they just leave it unlocked because you just open it and throw it away. But I don't know about like the nighttime if they would have locked it or not.
You bet. Okay. Where's Murphy?
Where is he?
Yeah.
Well, I watched them take him out.
Okay.
I don't know where.
And that was more of a just.
Where is he?
Yeah.
Well, I watched them take him out.
Okay.
I don't know where. I watched them take him out.
Okay.
I don't know where. I watched them take him out.
Okay.
I don't know where.
And that was more of a just piecing everything together and.
Yeah, Murphy.
Crap, the dog's somewhere.
Yeah, he's somewhere.
Okay. All right. Anything else you can think of?
I don't think so.
Okay. Usually in any kind of traumatic experience, even if you're not there, you know these people, this is going to hit you hard. You might think of something later on down the road that'll pop up when you're looking at a Happy Meal or French fries or something weird, and it just will hit.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate to call us.
Sky Blue Eyes says, "Oh, Birdie, isn't there a certain golf club that has lines on it, like lines on Kaylee's mouth?" Well, yeah, like, you know what? I actually have some. 1 second. I'll show you guys. Like that, maybe? You know, they definitely have the grooves on them for putting spin on the ball, right? I mean, okay, Lamey Jamie. Saying, no sweet spot, huh? Yeah, I know. At least they're clean. Take care of them. That's a 5-iron. Mitty Witty wants me to hold it against my skin to see if it makes marks. That's actually, well, I guess I've never tried that. I mean, I don't even know how you guys would be able to tell that. The impact wouldn't even be close. You know what I mean? I can't do it on my arms either because they're full of ink. But oops. I don't know. But I could see how that could happen though. Right? Like if you have a ring on your fist or on your hand, like if I punch somebody with this, the ring would have a mark, right? I know people are going to be laughing about that, but I'm serious. I mean, I wanted to see, would it just even pressing it? I mean, and the grips could be all different, but like, it's just rubber. A police baton does. Yeah. You know what? At least high effort here. Okay. High effort. I'm trying. But yeah, there's no way the impact would have been. It would have been like, I don't even know if you'd be able to recreate that without seriously effing somebody up. Yeah, if you snapped it, if you were to snap it, I guarantee that this would end up being sharp. Like, yeah, you could easily. I mean, look at, I could just even flex that with barely any pressure to it. Nails a police baton again. Chris says stop with the golf clubs. Okay. Chris wants us to stop with the golf clubs. Let's all stop. They said it was like a waffle line type impression in the interview. I agree with that. The face and head wounds bleed profusely. Teeth were also knocked out. CSI could recreate it. I could do whatever I want with my golf clubs. I could shoot 30 over if I want to, which I end up doing that. Yeah, the butt of a rifle has lines. Essie brings up a past case saying Martha Moxley was murdered with a golf club. It's definitely, you know, it's definitely a weapon. It could be a weapon. This Stanley could be a weapon. You know, anything could be a weapon. Thank you, Tiggo Biddies. Tiggo Biddies 89 says Birdie can be Happy Gilmore if he wants to. Yeah, thank you, Les. Oh, and also, I'm just doing what people were saying in the chat to an extent of like, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I have a golf club, or I have my golf bags in my closet. Never pulled that out before. It's been brought up a lot, right? Like Fiji said, it was a big deal in the beginning. Dot says it was a short impression, I believe, from being kicked in the face. So like a boot line, perhaps. Tap, tap, taparoo. UFO Dog does make a valid point here that Tiggo Biddies can also be a weapon to the face. Now, I've no idea if that's possible. I love my wife. I've never had lethal weapon Tiggo Biddies in my face in any other case, so I wouldn't know, right? I mean, just saying. We are solely talking about generalized comments. Brian Todd now says, stop with the titties, guys. What's up with people telling us to stop about that? I can talk about titties. I can talk about golf clubs. I'll talk about whatever we want to here. Oh, this went off the rails so quick. I know it's a serious matter. I get it. It's just whew, you know what I mean? Sometimes we can't help it. I mean, we're looking at mundane, evil shit, and at the end of the day, everyone does like Tiggo Biddies. All right, Hive. Thank you all for tuning in. What a great stream. Thank you to everybody that hit that like button, that pressed subscribed. I mean, we are at 937 likes. We got 988 people in here. So 50 people are the only people that haven't hit it. That is epic. You guys rock. Tomorrow evening, 7 p.m., I'll be back here with Devil's Advocates, who put out an awesome video on the Idaho 4 yesterday or on Friday. I'm going to be asking him about that. That is in regards to the sheath being planted potentially, and corroborates it with documents now that we have this, photo of the sheath. And that's what we're going to be diving into tomorrow. I hope you all sleep great. Crush your Monday. I'll see you then. Cheers.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.